Okay, keyword for today have some linkage with the keyword from yesterday. Yesterday we talked about contraband.
Yes.
Today we talk about con.
Con. Well, it's got 3 of the same letters.
Yeah.
But let me tell you what I mean by that.
Okay, con, K-O-N-G.
Yep.
Hyphen.
Yep.
C-O-N.
It's
Okay, let me guess.
Sure.
Conman?
No. Well, kind of. Yes, there are definitely con men involved in what I'm going to talk about today. But the con is actually short for content.
Oh.
Something completely different. So, con. Okay? And let me tell you where I'm going with this. So yesterday, usually you're supposed to be looking ahead, and what we can look ahead to is more unbelievably bad movies being paid for by Hong Kong taxpayers. That's what you can look forward to, because yesterday the panel on information technology and broadcasting was talking about the budget proposal to put another $200 million into the Film Development Fund. And I looked into it, and there are some requirements on this that if you're going to get financing, you have to have a certain amount of Hong Kong content. Mm. Now, they have similar programs around the world. Canada...
Hong Kong content, hence Kong Kong.
Has Kong Kong, exactly. Now you know where I'm going with this, because in Canada, for decades, they've called it CanCon.
Oh.
So if they were going to government support, it had to have like a producer, a director, or if it was music, you had to have a singer or a producer or like a sound mixer. I don't know. There had to be a certain percentage, and they had all these complicated systems for determining what was CanCon. Mm. Well, nobody in Hong Kong has used this, but we are today inventing the term KongCon, because if you want to get finance, you must employ at least one permanent resident of Hong Kong in any of 3 of the following categories of the main film crew and cast. You have to have a film producer, film director, scriptwriter, leading actor, or leading actress.
So 5.
You have to have 3 of those, yeah.
5 of the 3.
5 of the 3.
Yes.
Right? Have to be in it for it to be considered a Hong Kong movie. And then you get like millions and millions
Producer,
of dollars.
director, scriptwriter,
yes.
lead actor, lead actress.
Yes. 3 of 5.
Okay.
And then you are KongCon.
Okay.
And then you can qualify for money from the Hong Kong government. And, okay, now the thing that really, stunned me about this was like, what gems are being funded by the Hong Kong taxpayer? You ready for this? Okay. Now, the thing is, when I looked this up and started Googling some of these movies, I'm worried now that every time I go to Google, they're going to be pushing low-grade Chinese porn at me. Because that's pretty much what our government funds. And now Google's got that in my, browsing history. Okay, what do we got?
Don't give yourself excuse to watch those things.
I'm not clicking on those ads. Beach Spike got $2.8 million for the 2010 production of what is basically that could be your word of the day, a T&A movie, right? It's basically an excuse to have women running around in bikinis and short shorts paid for by the Hong Kong government.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm sure you've never seen. You're very highbrow. You're up there with John Sung drinking coffee and watching French movies, bourgeoisie style, right? Microsex Office, $1.7 million from the Hong Kong government. Way to go, guys. Kick-Ass Girls, right? These movies all have a lower than 5 rating on IMDb, 5 out of 10, which means they're terrible. Kick-Ass Girls, let me tell you the IMDb summary description of this movie. Has a 4.4 rating. The story of a group of promiscuous yet level-headed women who fall into troubles with the fighting world. $2.2 million from the Hong Kong government. Way to go, guys. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm like, really? You've got a bunch of bureaucrats sitting around going, promiscuous yet level-headed women who fall into troubles in the fighting world. That's worth taxpayer money.
How did the Canadian do it? I mean,
the Canadians end up finding a lot of weird... they end up just putting buckets of money into films that are weird and really bizarre. But with their thing, it has to be about Canada somehow. Although not always, but quite often they put them on the National Film Board.
Yes.
And so if you want something that is really Canadian, about a guy in a canoe, or a polar bear or something.
And they put the Canada logo.
Oh yeah, you got to have
at the end of the.
You've seen it, yeah. But at least
at the credits.
Yeah, and at least there's this repository of Canadian stuff. Because the argument there was that if they didn't do that, there would be no Canadian production. All anybody in Canada would ever watch would be American productions, and eventually the Americans would eat us. So it was somehow supposed to stop the Americans from taking over our country, like the War of 1812. but with movies. But in Hong Kong, they don't even have that. You know, it's just like...
You are into this mood of historical parallels.
Oh, yeah.
Since yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. So what can we look forward to? More, like, terrible movies with... And maybe that's what the Hong Kong taxpayer wants. Kind of movies with lots of naked women running, or mostly naked women running around, funded by the Hong Kong government.
You look excited, though.
Yeah, you know. I'll never watch any of these movies, but, you know, which maybe I'm not allowed to criticize them then, but, you know, some things you don't have to see to know. Promiscuous yet level-headed women who fall into troubles in the fighting world.
Enough. Keyword for today. You invented that word.
Con.
All right. Thank you.
You got it.